Once upon a time, there was a man named Joe Kennedy. They say behind every major fortune is a major crime. And he had a checkered past and therefore could not become president. But he did support FDR wisely and groomed his sons to become president someday. And in the election of 1960, he had Frank Sinatra and his friends help out, which worked because Kennedy won by a very slim margin, one of the slimmest ever in the history of our country. And therefore, he allowed Frank to escort Jackie to the inaugural ball and sing at the ball. Sam Giancana was a big help. He got votes in Chicago and was assured that all would be well.
And rejoice at his continued good luck. Honest union members and the general public can only regard it as a tragedy.
The tragedy was that Robert Kennedy became Attorney General. He'd gone after the Mafia with the McClellan hearings in the Senate in the 50s, and Hoffa hated Bobby, and Bobby hated him. Good books on these subjects are Sins of the Father and Joseph P. Kennedy. They outline all these connections, as well as Vendetta about Bobby versus Hoffa. The straw that broke the camel's back, you could say, was when this man, Carlos Marcello, the most powerful godfather in the country from New Orleans, was literally kidnapped with help of the CIA by Bobby and sent to Guatemala. He came in this country at a young age and was pictured here in the McClellan hearings. He was the powerful godfather, the basis of the movie The Godfather, the real deal. And when they sent him to Guatemala, he was furious and vowed revenge. This act may have been illegal, and the legal scholars have looked at it for years, but the little man, Carlos Marcello, ended up in the jungles of Guatemala and was mad, steaming mad. And when he got back, he worked on getting even. And he did. He planned the Kennedy assassination. And he got help from LBJ. You should read these books by Robert Caro about the corruption in Texas and how Lyndon Johnson rose to power and was funded by the oil men. And this book by his lawyer about how sad he felt about Kennedy's assassination. He kind of went nuts. Barr McClellan's a good author. Read that book. And read The Big Rich about the three oil families. Sid Richardson, the billionaire bachelor, was a very fascinating man. And they cornered the oil whales of Texas early with Clint Murchison, who later owned football teams. Here he is on his horse. These men were bigger than life. And they mastered the funding of the assassination. And you can read all about it. And the final of the three was H.L. Hunt. I went to his house in the background, Mount Vernon replica. You can see it in one of my YouTube videos. This guy was kind of nuts, but also a genius. And that's a good book about his involvement in the assassination. The TV show Dallas was based on these men. You can learn a lot more about them by reading those books. The actual assassination, the incident as they called it, occurred November 22nd, 1963 in Dallas. They lured him to Dallas for the campaigning, and then they killed him. Ruby is the key to all of this, because after the assassination, Ruby shot Oswald right in the police station. And Ruby worked for, the Mafia. And he informed a friend that to watch the fireworks the day JFK died. He was right there when it happened. And here's an interview.
I'm the only person in the know the truth would change everything relating to my circumstances. Do you think it'll ever come out? No, because unfortunately, the people have so much to glean and have such a material motive to put me in a position I'm in. We'll never let the truth come above board to the world. Now, these people are in very high positions, yeah. Yes.
There you have it in Jack Ruby's own words. And in summary, the mob helped Joe get his son in office. That's clear. Then Bob became Attorney General, which surprised some people. And he went right after them. Then he kidnapped Carlos Marcello, sent him to Guatemala, extradited him, and Carlos hatched a conspiracy. He got the approval of the Mafia and connected with his oil men to fund it, and some CIA folks. LBJ lured JFK to Dallas for the campaign. They set up Oswald as the patsy to make it look like he shot Kennedy, and then Ruby shot Oswald. LBJ got the prize. He wanted to be president. He knew all he had to do was get Kennedy killed. It happened right in his state. And then he and the CIA and J. Edgar Hoover covered it up. And that's the end of our story. Thanks for watching.